What is going on? Welcome back to Financial Journey. So today we're going to talk to you about NIO. Give you a quick overview of some of the data points, break it down on what is really moving it, and go over everything else you need to know. But first, make sure to hit that thumbs up. And with that, let's get right to it. So NIO is pulling back down 3.36%, $4.17 the low, $4.27 the high. So today is kind of just piggybacking off of the broader market, even though the data that did come out in the States doesn't directly affect NIO. So I think it is just algorithmic trading, and already the poor technicals in NIO's case, that's really prompting it. In case you don't know, they did have in the States non-farm payroll as well as unemployment coming in better than anticipated. So that is prompting some fears that with good data, you don't need any rate cuts. So that's kind of the moral of the story. Even from China, though, you've actually had some pretty good data that's been coming out. So in my opinion, there should be a somewhat of a recovery, but again, even looking at the inflation that came out on the 8th, forecast on a year over year, 0.2 came in at 0.1, and on the month over month came in flat. Forecast was 0.1. So even in China, it is essentially having good data, but not really helping NIO get all buyers or any buyers whatsoever. No transactions occurring on the secondary market above $100,000. So big money is just regrettably not looking at NIO. And so that ultimately is what is causing so much pain. And I know I keep saying the exact same thing, but it's honestly the truth. That's all I'm doing is interpreting the data. So with NIO right now, the reason why it's kind of lagging, and it has been lagging, is because of this. Nobody wants to buy it. Obviously a lot of different issues, geopolitical, and some people don't like maybe the cash burn or whatever else. A lot of just short-term noise, in my opinion. Once they do obtain profitability, then this is where you'll have big money lining up. But until that does happen, you're ultimately going to have shorts kind of calling the shots. And so right now, net, they're increasing 778,000 shares. 11.37% of the free float is being shorted. Works out to be 151.88 million shares overall are being shorted. So shorts definitely are kind of taking advantage of the kind of bad general day, but it kind of gets worse because first thing you can kind of see right here at its peak, they were increasing around 10 million shares. So today, as of right now, there's only 32 million shares being traded. So a good 1/3 of all that is attributed to shorts. So not the best. On obviously in NIO's case, algorithmic trading usually does take hold, and so a lot of this is algorithmic trading making up for pretty much the other 2/3. But I think in general, NIO needs to put something out. Latest news of even value to bring up was this. So NIO selects Sunwoda, if I'm saying that right, as a battery supplier for Firefly. But there's a lot of this type of stuff and articles floating around that is good FYIs, none of which are reasons to buy NIO. So again, it just comes back down to the point, the fact that there is no real catalyst. I would have anticipated like the December numbers to really prompt some buying, but I think it just came out on a very bad market day, so it just got brushed under the rug, very little effect on the market. And it did show some signs that it wanted to break out, as I've kind of been talking on, but without the actual buyers, big money buying, you are just going to just be stuck in limbo and regrettably kind of trend down from here. But going over options activity, so markets open for another 30 minutes, but 2.62 million in calls, 1.7 million in puts. 42% of all the options being done today are optimistic in nature, and of the call options that are being purchased, you see a consensus for it to be above roughly $5 by next week, and then the bears are anticipating for it to be majority is $4, sub $4, and then you have this randomly right here. I don't know why, but a lot of 3,000 was purchased for it to be sub 250. So kind of out of left field. And with today being Friday, just take note of this. So with it at $4.17, all of the big walls right here are kind of just going to get expired, worthless. And this happens a lot. You see a lot of manipulation coming from shorts because market makers and shorts have a financial interest in bringing it and ensuring it closed below 450. So you have 18,000 at that 450, 30,000 at the 5, 19,000 at the 550. One point to really watch for next week is this right here. 29,000 at that $4 strike price, 8,000 at that 450, 103,000 at that 5, 20,000 at the 550, and 67 at the 6. So in reality, you are going to have shorts continuing to try to suppress it below that $4 strike price. So again, something to possibly look forward to. No matter what, though, options is just merely a sentiment, so kind of just do your own due diligence. But with it at $4.17, it is right above this S3. So $4.16 is going to be that line in the sand, the strong support. Flip side, 432 is going to be the next strong target / resistance. So it's just been kind of trading within this range, more oriented towards this S3. And the fact that NIO is trading between this S2 and this S3 kind of signals that the market is coding it as damaged, very, very damaged. So again, something just to kind of keep in mind. No other stocks trading with this range are seen as optimistic or bullish. A lot of them are just damaged stocks. A lot of them have toxic debt components to them that are exceedingly just riddled with dilution. So NIO ultimately is just, as I've stated, hated by Wall Street very much. But on the actual chart itself, so this is where you're seeing the full technical breakdown. It did attempt to break out those 3 times. So beginning of December the 31st, and then most recently on January the 6th, all failing to really break above the key resistance level. The most recent one was a good chance. It did get past the 50 and also 200-day moving average, but regrettably no dice. It is very much being sold off. So you see it very oversold based on the stochastic RSI, but it is below the ALMA. And this is something I have stated. You can go back to any of my videos. Based on the technicals, it is kind of projecting for it to hit these new lows. So I think just it's lack of buyers. That's going to happen. So let me know your viewpoint. Are you buying NIO? Are you selling? What are you doing with NIO? So on a side note, I really wish I had more to talk on with NIO. A lot of you obviously are kind of bringing up the fact that I'm very bearish. A lot of my videos, I just go over the data that's in front of me. And even though I like to say like, hey, you know what, this is going to $7 or even potentially higher in the next X time period, like the data doesn't really justify that right now. So that's just the basis of that. So let me know your thoughts. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up. One final thing, pop over to my Patreon though. I do have a lot of good buys on there. I give buy signals on stocks, options, and crypto. Many of them have been absolute bangers. And in fact, a lot of them are actually green, such as Lucid. Even Nike was signaled as a buy. It is minor, but given the fact that there's a massive amount of bloodbath in the market today, I think it's they are doing fairly a-okay. Same with ticker UAL. That's on my buy signal as well. So definitely worthwhile to pop over there and take a look. Link in the description below and also the comments. With all that, appreciate all of you watching.